Chapter 19. As soon as Milo arrived on location, the lack of power was obvious. Gaffers had gone from lighting technicians into professional sunbathers, and someone had started a pickup basketball game in the courtyard using an old C-stand as a hoop. The whole scene looked less like a film set and more like a summer camp for unemployed crew members. The absence of electricity felt like a perfect metaphor for his entire production. All the potential in the world, but running on empty. Milo dispersed everyone. Thank God it was Friday. Maybe Monday morning would be smooth sailing. Though somehow Milo doubted it, his mind wandering back to that conversation with Ava from the night before. The cinema protectorate. Banned plots. Reality-altering narratives. It all sounded like the ravings of a paranoid screenwriter after a 3-day absinthe bender. And yet, it did seem possible. Milo was the last to leave. He locked up the house and headed back to the office, opening the door to see Poppy at her desk, fingers flying across the keyboard like a stenographer on speed. She barely looked up as he entered, her bubble gum snapping in time with her typing. Milo collapsed into his chair, the springs groaning in protest. He blew out a long breath and stared at the ceiling, studying the water stains as if they held the secrets to cinematic success. "More problems?" she asked. "Electricity still out." She popped. "Have you ever heard of something called the Cinema Protectorate?" Milo asked, looking over at her. Her typing stopped abruptly. Then her gum snap echoed like a gunshot in the sudden silence. "The what now?" She swiveled her chair to face him. He sat up. "The Cinema Protectorate. It's this organization that controls what movies get made. They have these banned plots that they think could, I don't know, disrupt reality or something." "Is this an idea for a new movie you have?" No, it's a real concept." "The Cinema Protection Gang?" "Protectorate. Sounds communist. Or crazy." "Pop," went her gum. "Who told you about this?" Milo opened his mouth. Only a knock at the door interrupted them. "Come in," Poppy said. A second later, Owen poked his head in, his perfect mane somehow managing to catch the light in a halo. "Hey, Milo." His voice had the practiced casualness of someone about to deliver bad news. "Got a sec?" Milo nodded and got to his feet. The actor stepped inside, his chiseled features set in an expression of apologetic determination. "Look, I hate to do this to you so last minute, but I've been offered another gig. And it's kind of the opportunity of a lifetime." Milo had been waiting for the other shoe to drop, and here it was, landing with all the grace of an elephant in a tutu. "Let me guess, Marvel finally called?" "Close! It's the new Superman movie." Milo blinked. "You're going to be Superman? Congratulations!" No, I'm going to be the guy Superman saves from drowning." "You're abandoning a lead role to play a drowning victim?" "Well, it's not much of a lead," Owen said, "and we've barely shot 10 minutes of footage. Besides, this is the chance Owen Stump has been looking for." "Stump?" Owen lowered his voice. "Steel is just a stage name." Milo sighed. But the man wasn't wrong. Owen grinned with all the enthusiasm of a dog wagging its tail. "Just imagine, I'll be working with actual Hollywood royalty. I mean, no offense to you guys, but this is the big leagues." "Well, Owen," Milo said, forcing a smile, "I can't say I'm not disappointed, but I understand. This is quite an opportunity." "I knew you'd get it," Owen beamed. "You're the best, Milo. I'll never forget my roots down here in the minor leagues." And then he practically skipped out of the office. Milo turned to Poppy. "Please tell me we have someone who can replace him." She was already flipping through her Rolodex. "Derek Holbrook owes me a favour. I think I can get him here by Monday. He's not as pretty as Owen, but he can actually act, so that's a plus." "Small mercies," Milo said. "All right, set it up. We'll reshoot Owen's 10 minutes next week." Milo was exhausted. The past 24 hours, the car chase, Ava's nonsense about the CP and now Owen's departure, were finally catching up to him. "I'm going to call it a day. This headache is killing me. I'm going home." Poppy raised an eyebrow. Milo, you are home, remember?" He looked around the cramped office and the general air of desperation that seemed to permeate every surface. "Right," he sighed, sinking back into his chair. "I'm beginning to think this wasn't my best idea." "Uh-huh," Poppy said, standing and gathering her things. "I'll call Derek on the way home, and if we're done for the day, I'll leave you to it. Maybe try a little housekeeping? Carpet could use a vacuum." Milo grunted and watched the door close behind her, feeling like a drowning man without any Superman to save him, contemplating the merits of a mid-afternoon nap when his phone rang. "Hello?" he answered, not bothering to check the caller ID. "Milo?" It was Sam, his cinematographer. "What the hell, man? I'm fired!" Confusion washed over him. "What are you talking about? I'm not firing you." "Really?" Sam sounded angry. "Because I just got a call from someone named Ava saying I was off the project. Care to explain?" "Ava? There must be some mistake." "Well, mistake or not, I'd appreciate some clarity here. Am I fired or not?" "No, you're not fired," Milo said, tightening his grip on the phone. 100% not fired. I'll sort this out. I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding." He ended the call and headed out to the Airstream. Ava smiled when she saw him. "Milo, we need to talk." She leaned forward and lowered her voice. "What's wrong?" He hesitated. "I'm just wondering, did you fire my cinematographer?" Her eyes widened with genuine surprise, or at least what looked like genuine surprise. But then again, she was an actor, wasn't she? And apparently a good one. "Of course not. Why would I do that?" The question hung in the air like an awkward pause in a rom-com, except this was starting to feel more like a thriller. "I don't know, but Sam just called and said that someone named Ava told him he was off the project." She shook her head. "I bet you anything the Cinema Protectorate is escalating their action, trying to pin it on me." For some reason, her saying the words out loud in daylight made the whole thing sound even more ridiculous. And yet he wanted to believe her. After all, why would Ava sabotage his film after everything she told him about the Cinema Protectorate? "Yeah," Milo finally nodded. That must be it. He waked back to his office with a double cappuccino he didn't remember ordering, but couldn't shake the sense of missing something obvious. He paused at the door with his hand on the knob. Maybe he should call it quits, pack up, admit defeat, and ditch his failed experiment at revitalizing a long-lost Capra. But then what? Storm of Steel 89. He thought back to Ava's words from the night before, about stories that could change the world, and the power of cinema to shape reality itself. Whatever was going on, whether it was Hollywood executives, supernatural conspiracies, or simply the universe's particularly creative way of telling Milo no, he was going to see this through. If Ava was right about the Cinema Protectorate, then The Golden Path might be the most important movie ever made. And if she was wrong, well, he'd already lost his apartment, his lead actor, and possibly his grip on reality. What else was there to lose? Quite a lot, as it turned out. He just didn't know it yet.